Northwestern Mexico is confirmed by Baja California, Baja California Sur, Chihuahua, Sinaloa, and Sonora. Let's start. In Baja California, there is tourism, ranching, and agriculture, but the most important is the manufacturing industry for its quality and the cheap work made. Then, in Baja California Sur, there is tourism, fishing, and agriculture. Tourism represents the biggest amount of incomes with the 44% of the GDP. Fishing is the 16% of the total exportation of the state, and agriculture has the 2.1% of the GDP. Chihuahua is based on the industry making electronic devices, machinery, and equipment. But also tourism and mining are important for the economy. In mining, they extract big quantities of lead, zinc, silver, and copper that represent the 2.7% of the GDP. In Sinaloa, there is trade, immobiliary services, agriculture, and ranching. The trade is the 22.4% of the activities of the state. At the end, we have Sonora with agriculture, who are the leaders of production of wheat, cotton, watermelon, and grapes, contributing significantly to the GNP. As well, there is fishing, so they have big fleets of sardines, being its largest production. They also breed, process, and pack seafood with a strict quality control. A curious fact: Chihuahua is the biggest state of Mexico with an area of 247.460 square kilometers.
In Baja California, we have the Fear of the Sun. The objective is to show the advances in agriculture, livestock, industry, and commerce, currently taking place in September and part of October. Baja California Sur. We have the Carnival of San Felipe. It's an old tradition of a carnival, with a variation of mariachis, folk dance, and the king and queen's coronation. Well, now we have Chihuahua. In Chihuahua, we have the Fair of Santa Rita. It is a patronal festival in honor of Santa Rita, with religious activities. In Sinaloa, we have the Carnival of Mazatlan. It's a cultural event between the months of February and March. It's considered the most important carnival in Mexico. In Sonora, we have the Yaqui Valley Fest. It is one of the festivals of the year of the Yaqui tribe, which is celebrated on December to receive the Day of the Virgin.
La Bufadora is located 30 kilometers south of Ensenada in Baja California. It is a spectacular geyser that is considered one of the largest in the world. The collision of two wave currents with a cave under the sea causes the majestic spectacle that reaches up to 20 meters high. It also has a window to the sea that allows you to appreciate the beaches of Ensenada and the island of Todos Santos. Other touristic places in Baja California are Ruta del Vino, Puerto Nuevo, El Cañón de Guadalupe, Puertecitos, and Island of Todos Santos. The Arch of Cabo San Lucas is the main tourist postcard of Baja California Sur, a captivating rock formation that in profile looks like a huge dinosaur taking salt water. It is the point of separation of the waters of the Rio Cortés with those of the Pacific Ocean. Other touristic places in Baja California Sur are San José del Cabo, Santa Rosalía, Valle Asunción, Coronado Island, and Biosphere Reserve of Sierra La Laguna. Copper Canyon is one of the longest and deepest canyon systems in the world, with 60,000 kilometers of mountains, of which almost half corresponds to the surface of the precipices. The orography here reaches unusual dimensions: vertical rock walls hundreds of meters high, a waterfall of half a kilometer of fall, viewpoints of cliffs that rise 1,500 meters above the bottom of the glens. Other touristic places in Chihuahua are Paquime Archaeological Zone, the Basaseachi Cascade, Samalayuca Dunes, Visavirachi Valley, and Coyame Caves. The Malecón is considered one of the longest in the world. It has 8 kilometers of beautiful landscapes of the Pacific Ocean, from the Pedro Infante Monument to the Valentinos nightclub. Along its route, you can find restaurants, bars, cliffs, hotels, monuments, and more. Other touristic places in Sinaloa are Plazuela Machado, Stone Island, Cerro de la Memoria, El Fuerte, and Mocorito. Cerro de la Campana is undoubtedly the quintessential viewpoint of the view of Hermosillo, since from its cobblestones, it is possible to appreciate an almost complete panoramic view of La Ciudad del Sol. Other touristic places in Sonora are Cañón de las Barajitas, El Pinacate, Sonora River, Shark Island, and Guaymas. The most popular sport in the state is baseball, and the Sonora State in Hermosillo is in the 13th place among the largest in.
The regionalisms are cheve, that means beer, morro, that means keep, chilo, that means cool, feria, that means money, carrilla, that means make fun of someone, trucha, that means intelligent, troca, that means van, agüitado, that means sad, parranda, that means party, zarra, that means ugly, and dogo, that means hot dog.
In Baja California, seafood like paella from Ensenada and traditional fish tacos. Also, 90% of Mexican wines are produced in El Valle de Guadalupe. In Baja California Sur, we have lobster, that is one of the gourmet dishes, and pickled clams. In Chihuahua, we have machaca a la mexicana or with egg, meatloaf, and discadas, a dish that is prepared with bacon, chorizo, and beef rib. In Sinaloa, aguachile, tamales barbones that are prepared with cooked shrimp, and chilorio. In Sonora, pumpkin atole, wakabaki, that is a broth prepared with beef rib, chimichanga, and machaca.
In Baja California, and it is vasijas made with rama de sauce. Popeye women use Asian techniques to mold ceramic basils with decoration that have earned them international recognition. These ceramic pieces are also combined with desert agave fiber, which, like other ornaments such as multicolored patchworks, quilts, and cotton clothes dolls, indigenous designs are highly appreciated by all visitors. In Baja California Sur, the crafts with abalone shell, these molds represent a great source of income economically, not only for its valuable mint, but also for the use it made of in crafts. Chihuahua, the most representative crafts are the tarahumara dolls. They are made with patience and simplicity. They are also a beautiful message that invite us not to forget and preserve our roots. The elaboration of the so-called barcinas, an instrument which was used for the conservation of the crustacean. Currently, the barcina has totally become a jewel for the culture of skewing a pig. The iron good crafts are made by the indigenous people of the state of Sonora in limited productions and with an artisan process, and on a large scale can be found in stores in the state of Baja California and Sonora.
Before the Spaniard invasion, this region of the country was formed by small indigenous groups that lived on the banks of the main water streams. These groups of natives weren't as developed as those in the center of the country, but they depended on the same race, the Nahuatls. Conquest in this region took part in 1533, after the Central Conquest. It was led by Nuño de Beltrán Guzmán, giving rise to the formation of multiple provinces. In order to establish better control over the conquered land, the conquerors imposed the formation of small missions and princes, allowing them to have a bigger and better control of the natives in the region. Although this did create more control, military forces were forced to resort to the church in order to achieve total domination over the indigenous population. Different ecclesiastic orders like the Order of the Jesuits, Dominicans, and Franciscans were used. In the beginning of the second decade of the 19th century, it said that González de Hermosillo, an insurgent, was commissioned by Miguel Hidalgo to travel to Cozalá, where he would recruit those to sympathize with the cause to fight alongside them and collect silver, which would be needed in order to compensate for war costs. He would fail his mission and go back to the central region of the country in 1812. Years later, in 1821, the new Mexican nation would achieve its independence. Then, the Treaty of Guadalupe Hidalgo was signed on February 2nd, 1848. The treaty established that Mexico would cede more than half of its territory, which includes all of what are now the states of California, Nevada, Utah, New Mexico, Texas, Colorado, and parts of Arizona, Wyoming, Kansas, and Oklahoma. In addition, Mexico would renounce all claims in Texas, and the international border would be established on the Rio Grande. This in exchange for $15 million. And we skip to 1864, when the second French intervention would occur, starting the Battle of Mazatlan. During it, Cordillera battles took place in the Bay of Puerto Viejo de Mazatlan, Sinaloa. Also in Sinaloa, the Battle of San Pedro, which took place on December 22nd, 1864, prevented the fall of the city of Culiacan, and in which the imperialist forces under the command of Commander Gaziel, captain of the famous ship El Lucifer, shamefully nailed their rifles and swords into the sand of the Culiacan River and surrendered. Small battles would continue taking place in the region until 1867, when this